Just when you think space news can't get any funnier, something like this happens with Ted Cruz here talking about space pirates. And if you haven't seen the clip, I'm going to show it to you and then talk a little bit about what this actually means and why they're doing this stuff from my perspective, why I believe it's essential. So enjoy this little clip. It's quite funny, and I will go over some of the more funny parts of this topic shortly after.
The threats we face to our burgeoning commercial space sector, our civil space exploration efforts, and to our national defense are real. And it is long past time for the United States to act. Since the ancient Greeks first put to sea, nations have recognized the necessity of naval forces and maintaining a superior capability to protect waterborne travel and commerce from bad actors.
Wait a minute. When he said bad actors, was he talking about the astronauts? I'm a little confused. But either way, take a look at that pirate beard he grew out for this part.
Pirates threaten the open seas, and the same is possible in space. In this same way, I believe we too must now recognize the necessity of a space force. Pirates threaten the open seas, and the same is possible in space.
Sorry, I had to include that last piece in there, but not just because it was funny, but it is also some programming that shows us that threat of being in space and our equipment being damaged by foreign forces and their evil deeds of destroying our equipment or their own equipment, and it could wreak havoc on the space station. That we're doing all sorts of science up there that's benefiting humanity, but that's a whole different story. It's all part of the programming they want us to see, be exposed to, and let it sink in so that the nonsense they tell us now will seem legit. But pirates, in their historic known purposes, usually went after treasure. What are these pirates going to go after in space that we have? Is it these satellites that we've seen going in front of the moon? Are they going to pop the balloons and send these things hurling back down at us? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to go after satellites. We have enough ground towers and deep sea cables to communicate. We don't need all that. But what I think could happen, possibly, because they have to make it seem like a real threat, like the Twin Towers. I'm afraid to talk about some of these things. You never know when you're going to get banned. But like those threats there where we have to invade and take over other countries just because of the fake threat that our government's made, it'll be the same way. They have to control Earth from space. That's what I think her name was Carol Roslin, or Carol, whatever her name was warning us about Von Braun. She said that his deathbed confession was that they are going to try to create this fake threat with asteroids, eventually aliens, and all of these things, and they are going to use this fear, this controlling Earth from space, by the weaponization of space. And we know that space isn't what we've been told, but they can. That doesn't mean they cannot hurt us from high altitudes. We saw what happened in California, and that could just be practice for what's to come. Who knows? The evil ones that run this place run it in secret. And those secrets aren't because they are planning a surprise party for you. At least that's not what I would assume, based on what I can gather and knowing who they serve. But the truth is, we need to be ready for the deceptions to come. Yes, there are so many now that we could spend literally every waking hour looking at these, exposing these. But we need to find the truth about reality, who we are, and who is really going to win in the end. All of these people having their fun, it's going to come to a screeching halt, and all eyes will finally see the truth. And for some, they will be in shock of what they see and the things to come. But let no one deceive you. There is a lot of deception out there. We need to stay united because the deceivers, if you haven't noticed, are united in purpose and they aren't divided. They like to divide us and do every little thing they can to keep us divided and fighting over little disagreements. Seek the truth through the Holy Spirit. It will disperse confusion in your mind and set you free.